Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Doctor Strange Issue 1 2025. Ooh, I really love the use of color with the kind of pinks and purples there. We've got Lady Sif, we've got Angela there, so it's like, okay, we're getting a new one, Legacy Issue 451, and I gotta say, I really like this one. It is $4.99, so not completely out there as an issue 1 kind of going, but I really enjoyed this from what they were able for the writing and the art. So let us crack into this. We start off with a great looking one right here, just seeing Doctor Strange in action. It was like, ooh yeah, we don't really get as many kind of circular kind of panelings in this one, which is what I kind of usually like. But the paneling layout, even though it's your typical kind of stuff going on, it works very well. Under the gaze of Hakor, by the word of the lords of eternal unrest and the cries of the Lady of Dead Hearts, I command thee open. I command thee open. Oh dear, Asgard. It's like, okay, getting some different kind of people that he's asking help for, pretty much in his kind of repertoire. Not even the staff of Yggdrasil can open a portal back to precious, precious Midgard. Not even a splinter from the world tree, rent by the good doctor himself. What is a sorcerer supreme to do? Curse, perhaps? Rage against the fates for denying him his vengeance? Nay, nay, for he has already done that, Hugin. Perhaps then, Moonin, he will sulk and brood and glower. Oh, but surely he has had his fill of such dark moods. Truly the universe is a place of unending cruelty to one such as the noble doctor. Can I help you? Help us? Help us? We are but ravens. What help could we need from you? But Lady Sif would like a word. It's like, shit. It's like, I do like how Hugin and Moonin are done here as Strange is like, shit. Supplicate. Not supplicate. Invoking all the different kind of things and asking for kind of help from all that. I kind of like that we've got different kind of stuff going on here. It's just like, all right, Lady Sif wants to know what's going on. So, and I do like how they kind of are zoomed out first and then kind of zooming in on the ravens. Lady Sif, whatever you need of me, whatever Asgard needs of me, I stand ready. Whatever Asgard needs of you, I see. Doctor Strange, you came here seeking power because you'd been swindled out of your station on Midgard. Thor granted you an opportunity establishing the title of Sorcerer Supreme of Asgard, just for you, and you conspired with Loki to seize that power. Now Thor is dead by Loki's hand, and Midgard has been cut off from the 10, now the 9, realms. I did not know where Loki's schemes were leading. If I had, I would have never... Doctor, my home is close to chaos. I do not need excuses, and I do not need one of Loki's friends getting underfoot. Then use me. If you do not trust me, if you do not believe me, then use me to start solving problems. I can at least do that. Oh, but that is why I called for you, sorcerer, to tell you that you can be of use. Tell me. And I really like it kind of zooming in and how Doctor Strange looks. It's a different kind of art style, and I've not really been that well versed with Ivan Fiorelli's, and I'm like, ooh, you are really doing pretty good. Love the use of magic, love the kind of close-ups and how the faces kind of look. Have you ever been to Alfheim? Sif wants me out of Asgard, and who can blame her? Loki begged me not to tell Thor that they'd broken their exile, and I agreed to it. And it seemed like a wise move at the time to prevent an even greater rift developing between the two. And Doctor Strange of Asgard's like, ooh, and we see him kind of getting other kind of accoutrements and magical kind of stuff, like these gloves and this kind of weird little stick thing. But I did agree in order to hasten my journey toward becoming... did I agree in order to hasten my journey toward becoming the Sorcerer Supreme? I needed the power to return to Earth, to battle Doom. But if I had told Thor, his murder might have been averted. All my plans, both petty and grand, came crashing down. And while my need to return to my loved ones has never been more urgent, I need to resolve this business in Alfheim and do it quickly. To this end, I have arranged for assistance in my dealings with the factions at play, for it is not only the light elves of Alfheim I'll be dealing with, but also the angels of heaven. And if you're trucking with angels, seeing him kind of opening a portal and going through, you truck with Angela. Alfheim. And then we see his portal, and Angela, look at the badass there. And this is a pretty interesting pairing because I haven't really seen them kind of interact that much. So it's like, okay, Doctor Strange, I presume. Angela, you are imposing. I am aware. ... I was going to say you were very good to meet me here. You hired me. We have a bargain. Of course I would meet you here. Shall we depart? Before we do, my deepest, deepest condolences on the loss of your brother. Thor may have been a god, but he was also a good, kind, and decent man. Then we just kind of zoom in on her face. That's like for a little beat. Now, shall we? Yes, now we can go. As he's kind of looking off, it's like, alright, let's see how this goes here. She's no nonsense. Have you ever been to Alfheim before? I have not. It is an annoying place, full of happiness and peace. During the War of the Realms, Alfheim fell to Malekith and the Dark Elves. It was wounded, but has since healed. One of those wounds opened up a forgotten cave system. They await you there. I know of Alessa, the Light Elf Queen, but I know precious little about the Queen of Heaven. Idol refuses that title. She is merely the regent. She says, holding the throne for the rightful queen. And do we know who the rightful queen is? Someone who does not want the job. Now, for me, that kind of says that, like, Angela's supposed to be, but she doesn't want it. So we'll kind of see how that kind of goes. Now, I could be misreading that, but it would be interesting to learn later on. Stand straight, you fools. Rylia, Angela. This is the Sorcerer Supreme of Asgard. Sorcerer, there's a dead elf in a coffin that we want to decapitate. We require you to bend the light elves to our needs before our our irritation leads to violence. Ralia, is it? How long has the coffin been down here? Since before the exile of heaven. But that was eons ago. Absolutely. But we still want to cut off his head. The dead elf is apparently royalty, and Alfheim's customs do not allow such a... are you okay? I do not care about any of this. I kind of love that. She's explaining it, and even in the middle of explaining it, she's like, oh, shit, fuck. Come, my mother and Queen Alessa await. I must warn you, however, the regent is quite agitated. And I will cut off the ears of the first fucking elf who tries to stop me. Mother! It's like, well, ain't that a bitch? And I actually really like how it kind of looks here, as we see the coffin kind of suspended up there, and the regent's just like, fuck this shit. Ah, Asgard's wizard, perhaps you are the calming voice we need. Your Majesty, the Lady Sif sends her regards. Regent Idol, perhaps you could tell me about the elf in the coffin. For a start, who put him there? Oh, I did. Here lies the wizard Verboten, whose evil threatened all of the 10 realms. Such was the danger he posed. Odin tasked 2 whole choirs of angels to track him down and kill him. That is like, okie dokie. And then we get kind of like a flashback kind of explanation of what's kind of going on here. He wielded magic like nothing I had ever seen, and he slaughtered my sisters. I was the sole survivor, though only because he thought me too injured to continue the fight. I waited till his back was turned and then killed him. After that, I bound him in this iron coffin and buried him. That makes sense with the use of iron. One of Verboten's tricks was to steal memories, so I could not remember where his coffin lay until now. Of course, seeing that kind of go on is pretty kind of cool. And I like the use of purple for her speech bubbles there. Because my mother was unable to offer his body as proof, the contract with Odin was never fulfilled. It has stained our history. But now we can lay that to rest. All we need do is open the coffin and cut off his head. As murderous and as evil as he undoubtedly was, Verboten was still of royal lineage, and we will not allow such desecration. It is unseemly. Unseemly? Please, Idol, please. Queen Alessa, who was he? A duke? An earl? He was a prince. He was my grandson. Ah, the loss of... Your words of condolence are hardly necessary, wizard. I despised him then, I despise him now. It's more along the lines... If we let this allowed for those that we despise, we're probably going to have to allow it for those that we like too, kind of shit. It's like, I understand that you need kind of proof of that. And this is a pretty interesting kind of conflict here. Odin is dead. Even Thor is dead. The contract surely has lapsed. Contracts do not lapse. They are fulfilled or they are canceled. Nothing is for nothing. It's like, okie dokie. Thank you for telling us that, Angela. Then a compromise. Queen Alessa is Sorcerer Supreme and a medical doctor. Would you permit me to examine your grandson's remains in private? If I can confirm that this is indeed Verboten, would that settle the debt to everyone's satisfaction? If you give your word that you will be respectful, and afterward his remains will be buried again in accordance with the Light Elf tradition, that would be acceptable. I would need certain assurances, but yes, we would be prepared to accept that. Thank you. With all the recent upheavals and a growing wave of unease that is spreading throughout the realms, and I kind of like that we've got him up top and then seeing both of them having their own kind of panels. So it's like, alright, what's kind of going on here? Ooh, Nice stapling, no loose pages. It is gratifying to note that compromise and logic can still win out against fear and unreasonable demands. I will still need you to cut off his head. I'm sorry, what? Verboten is not dead, Doctor, but you killed him. I killed him as best as I was able. No. But when you open that coffin, he will wake, I have no doubt. You must take his head immediately and then seal the coffin once more. I doubt Queen Alessa would look too kindly upon them. Queen Alessa, Elsa, Elsa, yeah. Queen Elsa, cannot know about it. Nobody can. For the good of the realms, the last time someone asked me to trust them, not for the realms, Doctor, for me, for my daughter, I beseech you, I beg you, damn it. I will not break my word to the Queen. But I can promise that I will surround the coffin with a spell to keep the body in its current state, and I will ensure that it remains that way until they return it to the ground. Thank you. Rylia and I are needed in heaven, but I will leave my angels here. And mark my words well, sorcerer. Be careful. The High Elves transport the coffin to the Royal Hospital, and I tell everyone it will take hours to construct the shield. I lied, basically. One of the strongest shields known to magic can be constructed in moments, but I need to take my time with the stasis spell that comes next. The magic of Asgard and the Nine Realms is a beast with many faces, and I don't have the Vishanti to keep everything in line. Having your patron and your patron's not there, so he's got to keep things in line himself. Very interesting. But if what Idol says is true, then the very discovery of the caves may have been enough to wake Verboten. And I don't want to take any unnecessary wait. I know not what year it is, wizard. Oh, no. As we see the hand popping up and talking from the coffin, it's like, oh, shit. But what a time to be alive! Fuck. As we see Verboten come out. That's a really nice page there. Seeing his color versus the flames and stuff. Oh, my. Oh, to think, to move, to breathe. How I have missed living. Strange. And what is this? Oh, a shield? But how small it is, how cramped. Ugh. Let us expand it. What say you? It will provide some room to talk. It's like, oh shit, as Angela's attempting to kind of get in there, it's like, boom, oh shit. Verboten, I've heard a lot about you. A mortal, how wonderful. I'd never met one until this moment. In truth, I believed you you to be nothing but a children's story. Yet here you are with a mustache. You seem to have weathered your eons well, considering. Is that how long it's been? In death, time passes quickly. A moment in the blink. An attack mortal? Before I get my bearings? How ruthless of you. I like it. And we see him trying to get him with like these kind of chains and stuff. But then he's like, nope. And then just blasts him before Stranger's able to put up a shield. What was that? That was magic, magician. Do not feel bad. That technique was niche when I was young, too. You are used to the magics of Watum and Agamotto, yes? I know of their kind. Such magic is generated from the daily churn of existence, an energy that flows from the moment-by-moment machinery of the universe, so that the well never runs dry. Very cool to have that explanation of how Strange usually utilizes his magic. But like everything, almost everything, there's an alternative, and so there's a gap between what is and what could have been. In that gap, there is another energy generated from the potential of a thing, from the missed opportunity of a moment. There's a magic that comes from the events that do not happen, just as there is a magic that comes from the events that do. Pretty much doing some shit and trying to blast his ass like, fuck. The difference between those moments are said to be finer than the blade of the keenest scythe. Scythe magic is hard to detect, harder to wrangle, harder still to utilize. But I was born when I should not have been born. I learned what I should not have learned, and I have done what I should not have done. I am nothing if not resourceful, and I have utilized this magic. And today I will kill you with it. As we see it, and seeing the different kind of colors is really kind of cool. Strange, remove this shield and we will remove his head. It's coming down. Ah! Such is the trouble with angels. They never had any patience. As we see him utilizing his sigils and stuff to kind of get it, but he gets punched out. I will show you patience when I'm puncturing your lungs one at a time instead of both that. Rylia, where are your wings? That is not Rylia. Sisters! As we see them kind of getting beset upon someone that looks like her, it's like, shit! Gah! Taking on both angels and elves. Angela having a short little tussle with her. It's like, that's pretty nasty. By the goddess, you are quick. And she ducks, but like it takes out one of the elves. It's like, shit. Paraxian's war mace. Ugh. Taraxian's battle axe. Ugh. Caraxian's broadsword. You call upon fearsome magics indeed, mortal. And it's interesting seeing him utilize these kind of things because we don't really usually see him utilize them, but in Asgard, weapons like this make sense for the kind of magic to be called upon. But I was raised to believe the universe was always about to end. At any moment, I expected to be trampled underfoot by an entity from beyond the stars. I do not mind fearsome. Then is a conversation out of the question. Tell me why, Verboten. What is it you want? My needs are simple. I merely wish to continue the work that Odin interrupted when he sent those angels to kill me. Important work. Vital work. Tell me about it. Maybe I can help. Might you? Would you? If that is the case, then we can cease this violence before more blood is spilled. Tell me what you were working on, and we'll discuss it. Yes, perhaps. Sometimes the fate of the universe diverts from its original course. It happened in my youth, and I feel that it has happened multiple times in this age and recently. I plan to collect the energies of every person whose life has been altered by world-changing events, and then use that energy to seek out and kill all living children throughout the realms. Tell me, mortal, could you find it in your heart to help me achieve my dream? And it's like, you asshole. And then, of course, he's like, I did not think so, as he tosses him into Angela. It's like, shit. Stay behind me, Strange. I have our measure now. Maybe you should stand behind me, Angela, and why is that? Trust me. This next bit is not going to be fun, as we see him start kind of changing into other kind of magics. Not fun at all. And that is gnarly looking Strange there. Whatever darkness he's calling upon. And it's like, ooh, shit. I really like the use of dark and red there. And just how it fucking looks. It's like, awesome page to end on. To be continued. Next. After opening the mysterious coffin plaguing Alfheim, Strange and Angela come face to face with the dark wizard Verboten and his right-hand scythe, Aurelia, a twisted replica of the regent's daughter. As Verboten targets the children of Alfheim to harvest his scythe magic, Strange must move heaven and earth to stop him before his power grows. And of course, bringing up magic continuing this month with Sorcerer Supreme and Wiccan. So, I actually really enjoyed this. I'm like, okay, how are we dealing with this with Strange as a Sorcerer Supreme of Asgard? What's kind of going on there? We see he's still attempting to get back to Earth, however being unsuccessful with that. Lady Sif, of course, tasking him with understanding and mediating a dispute between the angels and light elves, which I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool, before introducing us to this villain, Verboten. And I really kind of liked this villain. I liked that it was kind of a hard kind of compromise to be like, all right, let me examine it and see what kind of goes on. Very good kind of compromise on Stranger's part. However, the regent not being, I was like, I killed him, kind of. It's like, that's kind of weird, but let's see. Of course, bracking out, we see Strange kind of utilizing his different kind of magics that he's learned from Asgard, which I really like. I mean, that's kind of the thing. Who he calls upon to help him with his magic, and what kind of entities kind of help him, and what kind of goes on with that. I did like them talking about how the Vishanti usually wrangles certain kind of things that he does, and that he doesn't have the ability to kind of do that here as he's doing this whole kind of stasis spell. And then learning that Verboten wants to utilizes the opposite inverse kind of magic. I know that's kind of stuff that is kind of expected in certain kind of things, but I like how it was executed here. It's like, ooh, scythe magic, and his whole kind of plot is to pretty much kill all living, like, utilize these people that have been altered by world-changing events and kill all living children. It's like, okay, that's a pretty big bad to kind of hit on. It's like, all right, let's see how this works out. So I like this beginning, and I'm interested to see where this goes. If you didn't, I totally get that. Maybe the art's not your style. Maybe Landy's taken voice on Strange isn't your style, but this all hit for me, so I'm in for it. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.